everybody, it's English Premier League news here. I'm back again with another video, and I'm back here to round up Sunday's final Premier League games where Man City oversaw their second Premier League title in a row. Now the first game we go to was the eventual game where Man City became champions of the Premier League, and that was the game which ended Brighton 1, Manchester City 4. Now Brighton actually took the lead in this game. It was from a corner, and it was a good old-fashioned header from Glenn Murray that they have been doing very successfully for the past 3 or 4 years now, and that spurred Brighton on for a bit, but it only lasted about 2 minutes when Man City played a nice through ball to Sergio Aguero, and Sergio Aguero slotted home the through ball, which got the crucial equaliser to push them on to win 4-1. The next eventual goals came from a header from a corner from Aymeric Laporte. I think that's how you say his name, but Laporte got the next header, which got Man City on track. Riyad Mahrez came with a fantastic effort to get Man City 3-1 ahead, and Gundogan's outstanding free kick rounded off the 4-1 victory for Man City, which ultimately got them champions. In the aftermath of the game, Yaya Touré's retirement was a very big topic, and he was reporting for Sky Sports, and yeah, the Man City players were all over Touré and getting him to try and join in the celebration. So that was a big thing. It meant a lot to the City players that Touré joined in, since most of them were his ex-teammates. But it's good to see Touré join in, and Man City, although Liverpool fans might argue, but City can be said that they deserved the title due to the 14 games they had to win. It was like 14 knockout games. Pundits kept saying everywhere that Man City are not good under pressure. They're not good in the Champions League. They crack in the knockout games. But this 14-game run was essentially a knockout game. They really felt the pressure in those 14 games. If they slip up, Liverpool would have won the title, and they've managed to hold it off and get the job done. Massive respect for Guardiola and City, and that rounds off a second Premier League title with 198 points for them. Just one more thing, I just need to touch on the fact that Brighton did sack their manager Chris Hughton today, and this was due to their bad run of form in 2019, which nearly saw Cardiff overtake them, to be honest. If Cardiff just won one more of their games, then they could have been in real trouble. But luckily for Brighton, they're still in the league, and it's a big shame actually, because Chris Hughton has really stabilised that club in the Premier League over the last 3 or 4 years, when they got promoted in 2015, I think it was. But ultimately, they're still in the. It was actually 2017 when they got promoted, I think it was. I don't know if I'm just talking rubbish here, but I think I'm right. And unfortunately, Brighton, you've sacked your manager. Let me know who you want to see replace Chris Hughton. Early reports saying you want the Swansea manager Graham Potter, but that's just early reports, and I wish Chris Hughton the best of luck in his career. Now the next game we get on to is Liverpool's 2-0 win over Wolves, but unfortunately for Liverpool, it means that the 2-0 win will not be enough to seal their first league title since 1990, unfortunately, because Manchester City, finished with a total of 98 points, and Liverpool finished with a total of 97. Normally Liverpool would be winning the title this season, but due to Man City's incredible run of results, it's just not meant to be for Liverpool, and it's due to, as I said, the pressure City have dealt with so well, just to really defend this title. So massive congratulations to City. But back to Liverpool, they've been outstanding once again. We mustn't let them be too disappointed, because Klopp has still done an amazing job, and most other leagues, most other seasons, this would warrant a title, but it wasn't to be for them, unfortunately. They played tremendously good football with Mane and Salah, and normally Firmino there, but sometimes Origi and Sturridge can fill in the front three, and it works really well for them. And Klopp has been getting them playing some really good football. Henderson is such a good leader. I love the way he drives the team forward and back. I love his interviews. Fantastic, inspired leader. And unfortunately, it's just not meant to be for Liverpool this year. But they might be able to win the Champions League this year. Who knows? I certainly sympathise with them. My personal opinion, a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, but I wouldn't have minded Liverpool winning the title this season. They haven't won it for a long time, and we need to get it over and done with better, because it's just going to keep going on. So yeah, unlucky for Liverpool. Keep going, and wonder if they'll win the Champions League final. Now, the next game we get on to is the result of Burnley 1, Arsenal 3. Arsenal, first of all, went 2-0 up through Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. These were the goals that allowed him to be joint first in the Golden Boot with Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane. Massive congratulations to Aubameyang in his first full season. There'll be many goals to come for him, whether it's with Arsenal or with another club. But yeah, massive congratulations to Aubameyang. Arsenal went 2-0 up in the game against Burnley. Unfortunately, they didn't get the top four, but Unai Emery is this very well-known Europa League specialist, who beat Liverpool actually with Sevilla in 2016. It was 2016. So yeah, that was the result in that one. But yeah, Emery knows the Europa League. Normally, I'd back them to beat Chelsea. I think they can be a good side on their day. It's just when they perform, and Burnley on Sunday was one of their better performances. It was very evident. Aubameyang has tremendous pace in behind, and that was also shown when they got their injury time goal with a great young prospects in Nketiah. So it doesn't look it looks good. Sorry, it does look good for Arsenal. It does look good. They just need to tidy up that away form next season, and maybe they can make the top four. But Burnley did put up a fight in that game. To be fair, they did pull it back to 2-1, but unfortunately Arsenal were too much for them in this game. And if they can put the performance like they did this time round against Burnley, Arsenal, or the one against Napoli away, or the one against Valencia away, then they have a very good chance of certainly beating Chelsea. So we'll see what happens in that one. Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, let me know your predictions for the Europa League final in the comments. And yeah, that final result was Burnley 1, Arsenal 3. Now we get on to the next game, which was a really topsy-turvy game. I mean, it was the battle of the counter-attacks. I hope you know which one I'm talking about. I certainly hope you do, because you really must know your knowledge. This weekend it was actually the one of Crystal Palace 5, Bournemouth 3, and I mean, both those sides really do have a great talents in that side, with Zaha and Ryan Fraser and Townsend, Jordan Ibe, Callum Wilson. The list goes on and on and on. And let's get straight into the game. Crystal Palace did take the 2-0 lead in the first half with another name I didn't mention, Michy Batshuayi. He got on loan from Chelsea, got the first 2 goals of the game. I wonder if Chelsea will sell him. Doesn't look likely due to their transfer ban, but Michy Batshuayi got the first 2 goals of the game. Fantastic build-up play from Crystal Palace. That got them the goals. Bournemouth, Palace actually went 3-0 up, actually, I should say. I'm getting my facts wrong there. But it was actually a Jack Simpson own goal from Bournemouth that got Crystal Palace the 3-0 lead. But I must get back onto Bournemouth because they did start the second half so well. It looks like they were going to get back in the game. It was the goals of Jefferson Lerma, Jordan Ibe and Josh King which got Bournemouth back into the game for that game. Although Crystal Palace, before Josh King's third goal for Bournemouth, Crystal Palace did make it 4-2 to Crystal Palace through wing-back Patrick Van Aanholt, which was a good goal in the end. But unfortunately, it ended 5-3 to Crystal Palace. Good win for Crystal Palace. Bournemouth couldn't match. I mean, they could, to be honest, really, but Palace's pace of Zaha and Townsend was too much for them, and that was shown when Townsend wrapped up the game for Crystal Palace to make it Crystal Palace 5, Bournemouth 3. Now the next game we get on to is Fulham 0, Newcastle 4, and the game did sum up the current predicament of the two sides. You would have thought Fulham, with a bit of late momentum in this drastic season for them, could have given Newcastle a good game, but Newcastle were just superb, and it was that man Rondon, who I keep talking about. His work rate is outstanding, his hold-up play is so good. Newcastle will look a much better side with him, and it proved to be against Fulham because Fulham just could not deal with him. And yeah, the summer situation for both these clubs does not good for Fulham, let's say, because yeah, as I said, the result does sum up the current predicaments of the two clubs. Fulham have got despite the late good form they showed, this result does sum up the current predicament ultimately, because they've got a huge wage bill for the Championship, which can be very costly if you want to return to the Championship. You really take big risks in that area. We saw it with QPR when they went down. They spent big when they came back up, but unfortunately they went back down again, and they're struggling to get back up now. So Fulham, another West London team in big financial trouble ahead of them. It can be very costly. They don't want to get any financial fair play mess, and they must get rid of some of the deadwood at the club because they don't want to replicate what their West London rivals are doing down the road, sorry. But yeah, Fulham doesn't look good at the moment, but Newcastle does look good because Rafa might be staying, which is always good, and they have a clear plan of how to get up that Premier League table, certainly with Rondon in form and with players like Shelby and Perez around him. So Newcastle fans, let me know who you want to sign for next season, because I think Rafa might just be persuading Mike Ashley to spend some more money, but we'll have to see. Newcastle fans, let me know who you want to sign, and Fulham, let me know how you feel about Championship life next season. Let me know. Now, the next game I get on to is the one between Leicester and Chelsea, and that finished 0-0 in the end. It wasn't a classic. There wasn't many standout highlights to talk about, apart from some missed chances from Chelsea and the lack of threat they look without Hazard. But despite, must give them credit, because they did start well without Hazard, to be fair, but it's just that clinical finish which certainly, if Higuain wants to stay at Chelsea and be a long-term star, he needs to score more goals than he's doing, and Sarri needs to get everything out of this Chelsea side if they're gonna stay in the Champions League and compete well in the league. And yeah, I don't know what to make of this situation in Chelsea, to be honest, because although I like to see their young players do well with Hudson-Odoi, Loftus-Cheek. I'm glad to see him doing well, a good future England prospect. But I just don't know what to make of it, to be honest, because Sarri is a very changeable manager. He likes to try new things, which can be good sometimes, but other times just might be a bit too risky. And certainly in their current predicament, I'm not sure I buy into it 100%, and maybe that'll cost them next season, but maybe I might be wrong, and without Hazard they might surprise me greatly, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there. As for Leicester have had a fine end to the season under Brendan Rodgers. I was very impressed with them in their 3-0 win over Arsenal. What an assured display that was, with Maddison and Tielemans and Vardy. It looks such a good attacking line for them. They have a solid defence with, of course, the brick wall head of Harry Maguire. It's coming home in the Euros, just you wait. He wears the magic hat. Love all those chants, but we'll have to see. How England do in the next tournament. But back to Leicester, they had a great end to the season, and Leicester fans, it's exciting times for you because you've got a new manager, a new attacking philosophy, and it's certainly going to be very interesting to see how he does next season. But looking very promising so far, and let me know your current thoughts, Leicester and Chelsea fans. And Chelsea fans, as I said earlier, get your predictions in for Baku in the final against Arsenal. Cheers guys, let me know. Now the next game I have to dive into is Manchester United's loss, 2-0 loss at home to Cardiff, and Manchester United fans are going to be bitterly disappointed with this game. It's a massive underachievement to lose at home to Cardiff. They should. It just sums up the players' season, to be honest, because it's the last game of the season. You want to play for your contracts. You want to show the manager you want to be in his plans for next season. But they did quite the opposite, to be honest, and it was the same old for Manchester United, to be honest. We saw it against Huddersfield when people failed to track back for their goal, and it was the same against Cardiff when Paul Pogba, I must highlight him, failed to track back for Josh Murphy's goal, which Cardiff's second goal, which fell to Mendes-Lang. 2-0 Cardiff. Pogba fails to track back. Man United in tatters, and I'm not quite sure what to make of this whole thing, to be honest. Cardiff did a great job of working for every ball, fighting for every ball, getting balls into the box, causing Man United problems, but Man United just weren't at it, and you have to be at it every game if you want to win a game. So Manchester United fans will be bitterly disappointed. There needs a massive summer overhaul. Solskjaer definitely needs next summer to prove himself, and next season he needs to get some of that deadwood out of the squad from the last 3 or 4 years. The defence needs reshuffling. That midfield, Pogba can be a really class player on his day, but he's just too. This big star price tag. There's always a question of whether he's just in it for that tag on social media and adverts, and the money, possibly. That might be a bit too far, but I don't know what to make of it, really. He's just not performing, and obviously when you come to Man United, such a big club, such a big history for that price tag, and if you're not performing, whoever you are, then questions are going to be asked into you, and that's exactly what happened with the fan at the end. And Pogba must make a massive statement if he wants to stay, apologise to the fans for this season. He must have the humility to come out and do that, or he'll be off to another club. He could be off to Real Madrid, but my personal opinion, I don't think he deserves that move to Real Madrid, to be honest. I think he needs to prove himself at Man United, repay the damage. That's my personal opinion on the matter. Feel free to disagree with me on that one, but that's my personal opinion. But if Real Madrid go in for him, fair play, because it's a massive club. Who wouldn't reject a move for that? But yeah, I don't know what to make of that situation. Man United fans, let me know about Pogba and what needs to happen in the summer next season. And Cardiff fans, yeah, I hope Neil Warnock stays and gets you back up next season, because he can be a really good manager in the Championship. And let me know what to expect next season in the Championship, and best of luck in that division. Thank you very much. Now, the next game we get on to is the game between Southampton and Huddersfield. Southampton at St Mary's, and that game ended as a 1-1 draw. Nathan Redmond got Southampton the lead just before the first half, and Alex Pritchard capitalised on an Angus Gunn mistake to get Huddersfield back on level terms and get a positive end to the season of what has been a really torrid season for them. Only 15 points, not good. They were quite unlucky at the start of the season, to be fair, but the season just fueled by disappointment after disappointment. David Wagner leaving, got the new manager in, which sets a tiny bit of optimism, but apart from that, that's it, to be honest. And Huddersfield are relegated. I do back them in some ways to do well in the Championship, not necessarily to get promoted. But with this new manager, with a new squad, that striker Carlin Grant looks really good. To get them back up in the Championship, certainly going to be interesting to see how many goals he gets, because he was very good at Charlton in the first stint of this season, has been popping up with the odd goal for Huddersfield lately. But yeah, it will be very interesting to see what happens there for Huddersfield. As for Southampton, they are an improved side under Ralph Hasenhüttl. I beg they sell Charlie Austin to QPR. I'm a QPR fan, by the way, and we really need him back, really need some goals. But enough about that. Southampton massively improved under Hasenhüttl. Next season will only be better for them under him. Much better under much worse, under Mark Hughes. He is a tragic manager. He is really tragic. I had him at QPR, and the way he went about the interviews, the excuses in the press match about referees, and the lack of accountability in his game, and the lack of motivation in the players, and just his players just not being generally fit enough, to be honest. And I just don't rate him as a manager or as a person. He was a good player, to be fair, but I just couldn't stand him at QPR, to be honest. Glad Southampton sacked him. Hopefully Mark Hughes will never ever be in a job ever again. As for Hasenhüttl, he's worked wonders. He's went about the job right. He's made the best of Danny Ings, Shane Long, of the proper footballers that other managers had failed to do, hence Pellegrino, that Spanish guy, the BTEC Pellegrini, and Mark Hughes have failed to do. So congrats to Hasenhüttl, wish him the best for next season. It can only get better. Southampton fans, let me know who you want to sign. Reports link them to Che Adams, who would be really good, deserves to step up to the Premier League from Birmingham. But apart from that, I've got nothing to report on this one. Thank you for watching this one, Southampton and Huddersfield fans, and let me know what needs to happen. Thank you. Now, the next game we get on to was the game between Tottenham and Everton, and it ended as a 2-2 draw. It was quite an accurate representation of the current predicaments. Maybe Tottenham should have gone on to win the game based on the chances, and it was that man Christian Eriksen, as he did against Brighton, to rescue a vital point for them to ensure top 4, which was going to happen anyway. But enough about that. Tottenham took the lead through Eric Dyer on 3 minutes, so it looks like it was going to be a win for them. But Everton have looked much improved under Marco Silva and has proven some of his doubters wrong with the performances they've been putting in, especially with the one against Manchester United, where they smashed them 4-0, and the one against West Ham as well, the 2-0 away win, I can recall, and now this performance against Tottenham, which got them a 2-2 draw. Tottenham side, remember, who are in the Champions League final, so Everton must feel pleased with this late season surge under Marco Silva, and it could look promising for next season for them. But now we get on to Tottenham. Hopefully they'll have Harry Kane back for the Champions League final. I want to see him playing again. He can be an exceptional player. Need him for England as well for the Nations League. We need him back for the Nations League. Good to see Ali, Son, Lucas. That has been a good front three as well. Got them to the Champions League final. They're playing with so much spirit, so much heart. They've got a good solid base at the back with Vertonghen and Alderweireld. Tottenham could convince them to stay next season, and if they do, they could maybe push for a Premier League if they make a couple of decent signings. Their squad is probably too short for a challenge just now. They probably need a couple more signings, certainly. But with the addition of the new stadium and Harry Kane and Ali, and that squad is a good base. Maybe another addition in the midfield, like that playmaker. But apart from that, Tottenham can do really, really well next season, and they have to keep Poch. But with the new stadium, they can certainly get 10 points or something more, maybe even beyond that. Who knows? Tottenham fans, let me know what you want to see next season in the Premier League, and let me know if you think you can beat Liverpool in this classic final. Get your score predictions for the Champions League final. Remember, Liverpool-Tottenham will certainly be a very, very good game. I'm actually missing the game because I'll be on the plane coming back from Portugal. I was really annoyed at first, but I'm going to have to get over that. It's just one of those things. Oh God, I was annoyed about missing that final. I'm going to have to miss that final on June the 1st, but unfortunately I can't see that. I'll be high in the sky on a easy jet plane which don't have a telly, so unfortunately that won't be the case. I bet you're all massively looking forward to that, and rightly so. Get your predictions in for the final. And lastly, Everton fans, I'm sure you'll be cheering on Tottenham for that final. I haven't forgotten that, and let me know what you want for next season under Marco Silva, because there certainly has been an improvement around Everton in this late surge. And let me know what needs to happen in terms of the summer for next season. Tottenham fan, Everton fans, feel free to comment down below, and I'll be on to the next game in just a minute. Now, the last game we get on to is West Ham's 4-1 thrashing of Watford, and what can be said, a really dominant display from West Ham. And I was actually really impressed with one player in particular, which was Mark Noble. It's good to see him get some joy after being a fantastic servant for West Ham. I wouldn't have minded him in the England squad, to be honest, but that never happened, unfortunately. But he has been a fantastic servant for West Ham, driving that side forward and backwards at the the worst of times as well. Fantastic, inspired leader like Henderson, and he got 2 goals for it as well. So massive congrats for him. Good to see him get some joy. And West Ham, at times they've been a bit inconsistent under Pellegrini this season. We know what the squad is capable of with Anderson and Arnautovic and Hernandez. That they are really quality players, and they should be challenging for 7th really, but they've ended up finishing 10th, which is still a good finish. Could be more promising next season if they just need to find more consistency in the side, and I'm sure they'll be really good to go and could put up a promising challenge, maybe even for the top 6, but who knows. As for Watford, they were looking a really good, consistent side. They were challenging for 7th for like the majority of the season, but unfortunately these last 2 or 3 months they've just fallen away really. I'm not quite sure what's happened to them really. I still have to congratulate, the season's not over though. They've still got that final, remember, against Man City in the FA Cup final. Could find some success there. Highly unlikely, but feel free to give it a go, Watford. And Watford fans, let me know what you make of Javi Gracia and what you make of him at the moment. Not a bad season, to be honest. Still a good season, despite being in the bottom half, just on the last day of the season, top half most of the season, but that happens in football sometimes. But still a very good season, and you must be looking forward to the next season and the next few years, maybe under Gracia, because it's good that you're keeping a manager for a good few seasons. So West Ham Watford fans, let me know what you make of the game, what you want for next season, and Watford fans, get your score predictions for the FA Cup final. Thank you for watching this one. Thank you for watching this whole video in general. Your support and views are massively appreciated. I'm doing this for free at the moment, but hopefully I can continue growing, continue this channel. It means a lot to all of you to keep watching it, and I hope you all have a good rest of the week, and I'll be back with another video as soon as possible. I'll be back in the next one.